Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnana Timrandhasya Jnana Janashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mada cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma Om Amriteshwari Namah. Om Amriteshwari Namah. We'll begin with a short meditation. Kindly sit straight and make sure your vertebral column, your spinal column is erect. Slowly close your eyes. Try to observe your breath, watching every inhalation and exhalation pass by. As you watch your breath, you will also start relaxing and feel the relaxation. And now we'll chant Om 3 times. As we chant Om, visualize the sound of Om to arise deep within, rising through your navel area, and visualize the sound rising upwards along your spine, cleansing your body, your mind, the atmosphere around you. And as the vibrations come out of the body, visualize the vibrations cleansing the atmosphere also around you. Now kindly take a deep breath. Feel the reverberations in each and every part of your body. Now slowly bring your awareness onto your breathing. And to every inhalation, now slowly start chanting the mantra Ma silently along with your in-breath, and Om when you breathe out. Om is a representation of divine love. Ma is a representation of divine love. And Om is a representation of divine light. So while you breathe in chanting Ma, feel your heart being filled with that divine love. And when you breathe out chanting Om, feel your heart being filled with that divine light. So Ma, divine love, Om, divine light. And continue like this for some time. slowly and slowly, the reverberations of Ma and Om become more and more subtle. And feel only the vibrations. Now feel your heart filled with that divine love and light, and expanding like a flower bud that blooms into a beautiful flower. Your heart blossoming into just like the flower, filling you with divine love and divine light, with peace, with light, with love, and with bliss. Now imagine that light going out from your heart to all the beings in this world, just like the rays of the sun. And as the light falls on each and every one of them, imagine they also become more loving, more peaceful, more blissful, and more compassionate. And while imagining so, let's chant the Loka Samasta prayer 9 times. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Dhyayamo Dhavalavakunthanavatim Tejomayim Nashtikim Snigdha Pangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmidashri Mukim Valsalyamritavarshinim Sumadhuram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangim Madhusakta Suktim Amritanandatmikam Ishwarim Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavandau Punapunaha Ishwarau Gururakmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namah Om Amriteshwarye Namah Om Amriteshwarye Namah Om Amriteshwarye Namah. In the last session, we saw that the Gopas, the boys, young boys, along with Lord Sri Krishna and Balarama, went to the forest, and then they saw a big cave, which was in fact the Asura known as Akasura. Akha means one who's filled with sins. And so he just sat there like a python and waiting for the boys to enter. And when the boys, the Gopas, saw that, they thought it was a big cave because the python was so big. And so immediately Lord Krishna knew that it was not just a cave, but it was the Asura himself who had come in the form of python and waiting to kill all the boys and Lord Krishna himself. And Lord Krishna entered into his mouth, and as soon as he entered the Akasura, the python, closed its mouth, but the Lord grew bigger and bigger, and finally so big that Akasura, the python, could not breathe. And then breaking through the head of the python, Lord Krishna came out and saved the boys as well as the cows and the cattle that had come with them. And interestingly, what happened was, one of the things that was mentioned by Lord Shuka, Sage Shuka, is that this happened during the 5th year of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna at that time was 5 years old. But when the boys narrated the story to their parents, it was the 6th year of Lord Krishna. So 1 year had passed. And Parikshit, who was listening to this story, immediately caught that. And if we were doing that, we would not have understood. We would have just let it go. But Parikshit, being a very keen listener, caught hold of it and said, to Lord Shuka, Sage Shuka, how can something that had been done at the distance past become a current incident? And how can an event that took place in the 5th year of Lord Krishna be reported by the boys, his companions, only 1 year after? That is in Lord Krishna's 6th year. So he said, "O Yogin," is addressing Lord Shuka, saying, "And teacher, this seems to be so puzzling. And tell me all about it." And it definitely must be Lord's Maya, his mysterious spiritual potency and nothing else. And though I am an ordinary Kshatriya, I am the most fortunate person. Again, he is mentioning, I am the most fortunate person in this world. I am able to hear again and again from no less personage than your holy self, the sanctifying accounts of Lord Krishna's deeds. So, again, he's telling, I'm so fortunate to have been listening to these beautiful stories. And not only that, they are cleansing your mind. And so these stories bring about the memory of Lord Krishna as we hear and what Lord Krishna did. So that's why it's so sanctifying. And the Lord comes into our heart as we listen to the stories. So he's saying, he's asking this question. And as soon as he asked this question, Lord, that is Sage Shuka, just went into samadhi. As you know, samadhi, as I was saying in the last session, samadhi means in the state where there is no mind, it's beyond the mind. And of course, then you cannot describe that kind of a state because there is no mind to describe anything. And you cannot understand also with the mind. Usually we understand with the intellect. And when the intellect is not there, then how can you understand anything? So it goes beyond the intellect. And in samadhi, as I said, even the breath stops. There is not even breathing. Many a time. I'm not saying all the time. But most of the times, the breath will also not be there. There was another incident, as I said last time, about Amma in the Ganges. But there is a similar incident when Amma was doing Devi Bhava, and the villagers were making fun of her doing the Krishna Bhava and the Devi Bhava. And they came, so they started making so much fun of her that her father could not withstand the criticisms and the people making fun of her and the ridicule from the whole villagers. So he went and thinking that Amma was possessed by Devi, he went and told Amma, not Amma, he called her Devi, please get out of my daughter's body. So Amma said, if I get out of your daughter's body, all that will remain is just the physical body, the flesh and the blood. So do you want that? So he said, he was so adamant, he said, yes, you please leave my daughter alone. And as soon as she heard that, she just fell down. And there was no breathing, nothing. And it was as if she had left her body. And when, after some time, when Sugunachan, Amma's father, realized this, he started crying profusely and then started asking for apology. And so he said, please come back. And so Amma went into samadhi instantly. And they can just do that anytime. They can just come in and go out so easily. Just as, one of the things is that just as we struggle to achieve realization, they are struggling to be in the body. They are fighting to be in the body. And as I said last time, that's why suddenly Amma will, in the middle of the night, ask for something which is not there. She will always ask for something which is not there. If there are no peanuts in the whole area, she will suddenly start saying, I want peanuts. And she will just be adamant like a small child, I want peanuts right now. And because her mind has to be in something. And just like as I was saying, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also did the same thing. He wanted some sweets. And he will cry for sweets. Not that he wanted it, but his mind will be on the sweet so that he can come down and be in the body. And similarly, so Amma went into samadhi at that time, and she came out only 8 hours later. Imagine. She came just 8 hours later. And so, Sri Shuka was similarly, he went into samadhi when he heard the beautiful question, because, when you think about it, how can you not go into samadhi is the question. So that's why I'm saying these stories actually can take you to the height of samadhi. If you really listen with devotion, and when you are completely immersed in the stories, and when you can visualize Lord Krishna, slowly and slowly the mind goes up and finally merges. And so then, as your mind goes into, as the mind goes beyond the intellect, the mind is not there anymore. So here, that's why Lord Shuka went into samadhi, and now he comes back to tell the story to King Parikshit. And he says, you have put the right question. I mean, that's very important. When we ask a question, we have to ask the right question. You cannot go and ask Amma, when should I eat, and what should I eat, and should I move my house, from here to there, there to here. So all these questions, of course, you can ask, you have the right, but we have to ask the right question. So he says you have asked the right question to King Parikshit. O thou the most fortunate and the best among the Bhagavatas. So Bhagavatas is one who is listening to Bhagavata and who is immersed in Bhagavata. And the story of the Lord's deeds appears fresh in spite of hearing them time after time. So that is the beauty also. That's why he went into samadhi, because it's so fresh. It seems like it happened just now. And you cannot attribute a time period to these stories. Even though you might say that it happened 5,000 years ago or 5,500 years ago, it's ever fresh. And if you just think about it, you'll understand that it just happened. And it's also happening within you, not outside. It's just happening within you. So, time, which is the factor that creates Maya, it's a Maya, the illusion, is caused by time, right? And because of time, you have past, present, and future. Suppose we take away time, or suppose we take away space also, there is no illusion. There's nothing. So time creates illusion, Maya, and also space and the physical objects also create Maya. So, but when we take away all these things, there is no illusion. So what happens is, that's why he's saying it's ever fresh. If you take time out of your mind, when you go into the timelessness, all that remains is the divine. That's why Amma says everything is divine. So Amma here Lord Shuka is saying it is fresh, always fresh. When you hear again and again, and it's not boring. The more you hear, it becomes more and more fresh. And unlike the other stories. The other stories, when you hear second time, it's okay. Third time, when you start hearing, you'll tell the person who's narrating the story, oh, I have already heard this. Stop. Because that's boring. But in this case, Bhagavatam is not boring. It's ever fresh. And he says, that's why he says, Lord's deeds appear fresh in spite of hearing them time after time. And for those wise men who consider that the real purpose of powers of speech, hearing, and thought consists in dedicating them to Him, this interest in hearing about the deeds of the Lord become natural and instinctive. So that's a beautiful thing. Again, for a bhakta, for a devotee, what is the speciality of a devotee? That the powers of speech, hearing, and thought is dedicated to the Lord. Means it's not going out to the world. It's not going out into the material world. They are always hearing the Lord's stories. They are always speaking about satsang or the Lord's stories. And thought, thinking. Thinking is also, they are thinking about the Lord almost every time. So that's why he says it's the deeds of the Lord become natural and instinctive. And these accounts have ever renewing novelty about them, just as stories about women have for vulgar people. That's it's a good as well as bad comparison. Say, so for vulgar people, when they hear about women or men, for the women, it'll be men, it'll be a novelty. They want to hear more and more. And similarly, it's like, for the bhakta, it's like that. It's listening to that. So listen with faith and attention, O king. I'm going to give you something in spite of it being a great secret. To a beloved disciple, teachers reveal even the most esoteric verities. So this is a great secret, what happened. But nobody knew about it. Because it was so natural. It happened so naturally that nobody knew about it. So he's saying it's a great secret which only the teacher will reveal to his or her disciple. So after having rescued the boys and the calves from death in the mouth of Akasura, the Lord brought them back to the bank of the river and said, "Ah, friends, how charming are the river banks. These sandy regions, besides being useful for our games, are naturally endowed with pure and soft sands. The whole river surface is a blossom of flowers, whose fragrance is attracting the buzzing honey bees and chirping birds, and their sounds mixed with the murmuring music of the river are reverberating from the foliage of the thick vegetation around it. It is now late in the noon, and we are very hungry. Let us therefore sit here and take lunch. Let the calves drink water and graze about here." So Lord Krishna is also giving the beautiful atmosphere that is around. And he's saying that the river, let's go to the river banks. Unfortunately, now that's what you cannot see in the river banks, because especially all the sand has been taken away and used by human beings. So now he's saying it's a pure and soft sand. That's what it was. And he's saying the whole surface of the river is a blossom of flowers, so which is attracting the honeybees and the birds. And so he's saying not that he is hungry, but he knows the boys around with him are very hungry. So he said, let's go and have lunch. And let the calves drink water and graze about. And thereupon, the boys made the calves drink their fill and tied them in regions where there were plenty of grass. Then they took out their food and plates from their slings and sat delightedly with the Lord to lunch. And sitting around Krishna in several rows and constantly gazing at his face with his eyes wide open, they looked like the petals of a lotus arranged round its pericarp. So imagine you must have seen that scene with Amma. When Amma serves, everybody sits around her in a round circle, and So they're saying everybody's eyes is on Amma. So here also everybody's eyes is on Krishna. And even though we are eating, it's constantly everybody is gazing on Amma. Here they are gazing at Lord Krishna. And they are like the petals of a lotus. And they ate in plates improvised from flowers, flower petals, tender leaves, fruits, tree barks, and stones, as well as in the ready-made ones taken from the sling. So, they were very, conscious. And naturally, in those days, they did not have ceramic or any other plastic things. So the plates were, from flowers or flower petals and tender leaves of, like banana leaves and tree barks. So that's what they were made. And commenting on the flavor and the delicacy of their respective dishes and laughing and making one another laugh by jokes, they dined along with the Lord. So you get there's just the whole picture when we are sitting with Amma. This is what Amma does also. She asks us to tell jokes, makes us laugh, and she also laughs. Imagine the sight of him to whom all the offerings of yajnas are made, sitting in boyish glee to take his food amidst his companions. So imagine Amma like that, sitting amongst us, with the flute stuck between his waistcloth and the abdomen, with blowhorn and staff in the left armpit, and the left hand, respectively, with the balls of curd rice in his right palm, and various condiments between the fingers. He sat in the midst of his friends, cracking jokes and making them laugh, as the celestials looked on steeped in wonder. So somebody is watching them. They are all jealous also. Is as celestial beings. And they are seeing that Lord Krishna is sitting and with the boys and making jokes and playing with them. So they are really jealous, even though they are watching from up above. And so you can imagine also what happens when Amma does that with us. There will be so many celestial beings watching us and getting jealous. So as the cow-keeping boys were thus engaged in their dinner, oblivious of everything but for Krishna, the calves, eager for grass, moved to distant parts of the woodland. Later, missing the calves, the boys were filled with apprehension. But Krishna, who is the remover of the fears of all the world, told them, "Friends, continue your meal. I shall go and fetch the calves." Saying so, Lord Krishna, with the ball of rice still in his hand, went about searching for the calves on mountain tops, caves, and groves of creepers. Now, Brahma is the creator, not Brahman. So here we have to understand Brahma, the creator. Brahman is consciousness. Brahma is the creator with an open A. So the lotus born, who had been thoroughly astonished to see the divine play of the liberation of Akasura. So when Lord Krishna killed Akasura, Lord Brahma, the creator himself, was watching it. He was desirous of seeing more of the unique power and greatness of the divine child incognito. He therefore spirited away and hid all the calves that Krishna was in search for. By the time Krishna returned to his companions, unsuccessful in his attempt to find out the calves, he discovered that the boys too had disappeared. So, Lord, Brahma, the creator, first he made the calves disappear. And so, Lord Krishna, who went in search of the calves, could not find it. So, when he returned, he realized the boys were also not there, because Lord Brahma made them disappear also. And not finding the cowherd boys also on his return to the river bank, Krishna moved about in the woods everywhere, seeking both the boys as well as the calves. Searching everywhere, he could see neither the boys nor the calves. Presently, it dawned on him, who is all-knowing, that the whole affair was a machination of Brahma. So he realized with his knowledge, superior knowledge, the divine knowledge, that this was the trick that Brahma played. So, in order to give joy to all the parties concerned, the mothers of the cowherd boys, the cows, and also Brahma, assumed the forms of both the boys and the calves. To him who is the maker and the master of all, this is but a trifle. So what Lord Krishna himself created the Maya by assuming the forms of the boys as well as the calves. So we know that also because, as you know, many a time, Amma assumes various forms and comes to us. Suppose many people have told me, like when they were in an accident, somebody from somewhere comes out of the bloom and helps them. And they will stop and some stranger will come and help them. And as soon as, after some time you turn around, you don't see that person anymore. So it's Amma who is assuming these forms. So similarly, Lord Krishna assumed the forms of both the calves as well as the boys. And whatever number of small boys and calves there were, whatever organ and limbs they were endowed with, whatever equipment they had like staff, cow horns, flutes, vessels and slings, whatever ornaments and clothes they were wearing, whatever playthings they possessed, whatever distinguishing features they had, like traits of character, virtues, name, form, age, and the like, all these that immortal one became. As a literal illustration of the great truth that all this is Vishnu. So imagine, just Lord Vishnu took the form of all these people. And they had the same characteristics of the boys. And as I was saying, whatever clothes they were wearing, whatever ornaments and whatever playthings they possessed and distinguishing features they had, everything was so identical that nobody could say that this was a duplicate of the original. So that's why, saying that they're saying this is a Sarvam Brahmamayam, Sarvam Vishnumayam. That is, everything is Vishnu. So this is the great truth that is being enunciated. Whatever forms we see around, whatever we think is physical, and whatever we see in the world materially, and we have to, that's why Amma says it's nothing but the supreme consciousness. So this is the Vedantic truth, as it says Sarvam Brahmamayam. That is, everything is Brahman, or the supreme consciousness. And himself Krishna, himself the calves, himself the cowherd boys, directing the calves, himself enacting various plays, and himself the toys and the sports material, Krishna, the soul of all beings, entered the cowherd settlement. So you see the beautiful example, what they say about the pots, the mud pots made out of clay. That's a Vedantic example they say, of the mud pot being clay, made out of clay. What is the substratum of the pot? Or what is the substratum of all the ornaments you wear? Sometimes this will be round, sometimes it will be flat, sometimes it will be square. So whatever it is, the ornament is made, the substratum of all this is gold So similarly here, they are saying that the substratum of all these forms is nothing but the Lord. And so he's saying, O king, separating each one's calves, driving them into the respective cowsheds, Krishna, who had become each and every one of the boys and the calves, entered their respective houses in the very likeness of each boy. Their mothers, hearing the sound of flutes, had got up hurriedly to receive them, and on arrival they embraced with both arms and suckled ecstatically the Parabrahman in the shape of their boys. So the mothers did not know who actually it was. They thought it was their children, and so they were, in fact, when they saw the boys coming back home after a long time, they went hurriedly and hugged them and took them in their arms, not knowing it was Lord Krishna. And the daily routine finished, the Lord, in the guise of so many boys, was in the evening rubbed, bathed, anointed with cosmetics, decked in silks and with jewels, sanctified with marks, fed sumptuously and fondled by the respective mothers of the boys. And he, in turn, regaled them all separately by his charming gestures, and after a couple of hours retired to bed. So, Lord Krishna, also made sure that the mothers are satisfied and made happy. So that's what, he was so charming to them, and they also did not realize that it was Lord Krishna itself. That's why the charm was there. So after that, the boys retired to the bed. And the cows, returning from pasture, rushed into the cowsheds, and lowing to summon their respective calves, began to lick the young ones again and again and fed them with the milk that was overflowing from their udders. So the cows also, who was none other than Lord Krishna, went home and fed their calves sumptuously. And the cows and the mothers continued to have towards the multiformed Krishna the same maternal attitude that they used to have towards their erstwhile calves and sons. So understand, Lord Krishna was in a male form. And so that's why Amma is saying that even males have the maternal affection. They can become mothers and assume the form of mothers and become like a mother. Just like a woman becomes a mother, the man also can become mother. So here is a great example where the cows, who were none other than Lord Krishna, who assumed the form of the cows, became so maternal in their attitude. The only difference was that the intensity of their affection was greater than before. That was the whole problem, or something very nice. The affection was so intense. And Krishna, in the form of their young ones, had the same affection toward their mothers as before, the only difference being that it was not prompted by Maya through a sense of possession. So that is the beauty here about Lord Krishna, the cows. The cows were also equally affectionate to their calves. But one thing was, what was the distinct feature was the detachment. So that's why the sense of possession was not there. So that made it more loving. That's why Amma can love so many people at the same time, because there is no sense of possessment or possession. And so in the case of the Gopas, the creeper of their affection for their children remained evergreen and limitless, growing as it was based in Krishna, the infinite being. So the Gopas also, had their affection of the children was evergreen, means it did not die at all. And not only that, it was growing day by day. And thus Krishna spent 1 year
in the houses of the Gopas as their children, and in the cowsheds as the calves, assuming the forms of both and tending himself as calves by himself as the cowherd boys also. So you just imagine he's tending his own form as the calves by himself, which was the cowherd boys. So once, when only 5 or 6 days were left to complete 1 year of this divine drama, Krishna, along with Rama, went to the forest with the calves. The cows which were grazing on the top of the Govardhana mountain saw the calves at a long distance moving about near Brija. Seeing them, they forgot themselves out of love for the calves, and overcoming the impediments posed by their tending cowherds and natural obstacles, ran towards them with the gait and speed of horses. Their heads returned to the hump, tails raised and udders shedding milk. So fast did they gallop that it looked as if they had only 2 legs, for as they galloped, the 2 forelegs moved together, and so did the 2 hind legs. So, when the cows saw the calves, so out of the love for the calves, so remember, the Lord went to the forest not with the cows but with the calves. So as he went, the real cows, so that's what it is, the real cows which were hidden by Brahma, saw the calves and they started running. Hurtling down to the valley, these cows, though they had other calves, began to lick these calves with such excitement that it made one think that they were going to eat them up, and began to feed them with the milk overflowing from their udders. The cowherds tending them were discomfited and irritated at not being able to control these cows. With great difficulty, they came hurrying through intricate hill tracks to the valley where they met the calves and their own sons. Seeing their sons, the irritated mood of these Gopas took to wings, and great was their joy when, overcome with affection for the boys, they took them up in their arms, embraced them, and smelt the crown of their heads. So they have, thus having attained to the summit of satisfaction by embracing the boys, the elderly Gopas, feeling like youths, departed with their eyes overflowing with tears. So similarly, just like the cows saw the calves, the Gopas, the parents or the fathers, when they saw their children, they also were full of love. So, surprised at the growth of affection in the women of Brija as towards infants for these grown-up boys who had been weaned long ago, Rama began to think about the cause of this. What a wonder. The kind of love which the inhabitants of Brija used to have towards Krishna, the soul of all, they are now found to have towards all the children in Brija. What is the source of this magical spell? Is it human or celestial or asuric in origin? It must certainly be that of my master, Krishna, or else it could not have affected me. So it is Balarama now who is thinking. Look at all these people. They're so loving to their children, and it's ever fresh, and it's never has deteriorated, or it has become less, and it's growing, and it's just like the love for Lord Krishna. They're having the same kind of love towards their children. So what is their reason? And cogitating in this manner, Balarama was able with his eyes of knowledge to recognize all of them as expressions of Krishna, the Satchidananda. So he could see all these boys were none other than Lord Krishna. He said, these boys are not part of Devas, nor these cows of Rishis, as was supposed before. Thou art alone shining as all these different entities. The Vedas too declare that thou art the manifold. So thou alone should clarify this mystery. Tackled thus, the Lord explained the whole affair to him in brief. So when Balarama was confused, he asked this question to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna explained the whole thing to him in brief. And 1 year after, which according to his, that is Brahma's calculation of time, is only one truti, means one moment, Brahma came back to the scene, only to see the ever-full Krishna with his retinue of boys and calves still playing there as he was doing 1 year ago. And Brahma then thought within himself, all the boys and the calves of Brija are even now sleeping on my magical beds. They have not even got up from them. Where from then have come all these calves and boys who continue to be with Krishna, grazing and playing here for the past 1 year? So, according to Brahma's calculation, so this is the beauty about, the Sanatana Dharma. They define time, not only in the human sense, but in the different people have different sense of time. And they're just like, when we go to different planets, what happens is 1 year is not 1 year. For some of the planets, within 6 months, it can be a year, like what we experience on the Earth. For some other planets, like Jupiter or something, it could be 12 years, it would be 1 year. 12 human years could be 1 year. So we have to understand that the time, sense of time, is completely different, and according to the perceiver. And the perception, it changes according to the person, from individual to individual. And here is saying, just one moment of Brahma. One moment of Brahma is 1 year. So he just closed his eyes and opened his eyes. That was just one moment for him. And when he came back, he saw that the calves and the boys were still there. And what he had tricked Lord Krishna, and he had taken all the calves and the boys, and they were sleeping on his magical beds. And they were still sleeping. They have not got up. And how come these boys and calves are here? So he got so surprised. And so I'm thinking about the joke that Amma says about that, right? When one man goes and asks Lord God, how much is $1? First he asks, how much is 1 moment in your time? So God says it's a million years. Just 1 moment, human time, is million years. So he gets attracted and says, so how much is $1? So Lord says it's $1 million. So the man asks, can you give me $1? So Lord says, wait a moment. Just wait for a second. So it's like that. So the comparison of time is totally different. So Brahma just closed his eyes and opened his eyes. That was 1 moment for him, but for the people on the earth, it was like 1 year. And he was thinking, where did these calves and boys come from? And thinking deeply over the problem of these 2 sets of boys and calves, Brahma was not able to arrive at any conclusion as to which was the genuine and the pseudo set. Why? Why was Brahma, the creator himself, was confused? Right? The Creator himself could not make out who's real and who's, the duplicate, the original and the duplicate. Right? So, why was the Creator himself confused? Because Lord Krishna is beyond the Creator himself. And so that's why the Creator himself is confused. Thus, the attempt of Brahma to confuse Vishnu, who is himself undeluded by any false knowledge, but who infatuates the whole world by his Maya, ended his own confusion and discomfiture. So, the Lord ended the confusion of Brahma himself. And as the darkness caused by dew in a naturally dark night, and as the light shed by glowworms in the broad daylight, the magical powers displayed against him, who is the source of the world, magic can only be ineffective. It only destroys the power of the person who does so. So he's saying that, you cannot trick a magician who knows all the magic tricks. And you cannot play a magic trick on the magician because he is the master of all magic tricks. So Brahma was trying to pull a quick magic trick on the Creator himself, who created Brahma. Where did the Creator come from? The Creator must have come from somewhere, right? The question is, who created the Creator? That is a scientific question also that people ask nowadays. When there is creation, who created creation? So it must be a creator. So who created the creator? There's somebody who must have created the creator, right? So where did the creation come from? So it goes on and on. So where did the creator come from? So there is no answer for such questions because it's beyond the understanding of the human intellect. And in trying to find out such questions, one can only reach a thick wall which you cannot go beyond with the help of the intellect, beyond the wall. So these things are very subtle, right? And so what happens is Brahma himself, the Creator himself here was confused. So it means that Lord Krishna did create Brahma, or he is higher than Brahma. So who created Brahma himself was Lord Krishna. He created the Creator. And so the Creator himself, that is Brahma, is confused here. What is happening to my creation? So here the question is that. So that's why Amma is saying, in one sense also the creation and the Creator is not different. Arriving to the final conclusion. It is the Creator who has created the creation. And it's not different. It's just like the atoms are not different. And the atoms are made out of the same particle, that which everything is made of. So if you look into the atom and say, where did this atom come? And if you go deeply into this table and you just analyze it in a microscope, you can see the atoms. And did the atoms create the table? They are there. And which we perceive them to be the table. But they are also atoms. So it's not different from both. So where did the atoms go? Where did the table go? We are seeing the atoms in the form of table and the table in the form of atoms. So it's confusion. You cannot really understand. And then who created the atoms? Where did the atoms come from? So, As we go deeper and deeper, there is more and more confusion. And that's why, the scientists keep searching and searching and searching. They cannot find it. Whereas the great sages, when they did their experiments in their inner laboratory, where they, in the scientific experiments, this is the difference from the sages and the modern scientists. When they did experiments, the scientists did experiments, they did see that the observer, that is the scientist who was doing the scientific experiment, was affecting the very experiment. So the scientist who was observing was affecting the experiment. And it was because of him the experiment was being affected by. Whereas, in this case of the sages who were doing experiments in their inner laboratory, they removed themselves mentally. They could remove themselves and observe. And that's when they observed that they realized it's nothing but the divine that has become the many. And it is nothing but the divinity that remains in this world as the creation. So the creation and the creator are not two, but only one. So that's where the difference lies. They're just removing the intellect and the mind. They observed by purely detachment. And as we see that in every situation, when we detach, that's when we understand. It's just like, who was the one who shouted Eureka? Archimedes. Right? How did he understand that? The Archimedes principle. So when his mind got detached, or similarly in all the other experiments, when the mind gets detached from the results of the experiment or the very experiment itself, that's when they discover it. There is a point when the mind becomes blank. And that's when he starts shouting Eureka. So similarly in the case of the great sages, what happened is this, that they detached themselves. And they went to a state of no mind where they could understand the whole universe and what was behind the universe, who is the creator and who is behind the creation. And they understood that they themselves were the creators and the creation. That's the beauty. No, nobody else. You cannot blame anybody else but ourselves, or the creation, for the creation and the creator. So this beautiful Vedantic example is being told through this story and explained through the story with this simple yet eloquent story of Lord Krishna. So as we dive deeper and deeper into Bhagavatam, that's what, you can find Vedantic pearls as well. It's not just pure devotion. There's so many other, philosophies which is hidden through these stories. So that's the beauty about Bhagavatam. So let's continue in the next session. Om Amriteshwari Namah.
Karuna Sindhu Bhairavi Amritanandamayi Devi
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 Karuna Sindhu Bhairavi Purna Brahma Swarupinyai Satchidanandamurtaye Atma Ramagraganyaye Amriteshwariye Namo Namah
Purna Brahma Swarupinyai Satchidanandamurtaye Atma Ramagraganyaye Amriteshwariye Namo Namah
Amriteshwari Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Sarvamangalamangallye Shive Sarvarthasadhike Charanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute
Sarvamangalamangallye Shive Sarvarthasadhike Charanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Amba Amriteshwari Namostute
Amriteshwari Namostute
Tvameva Mada cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva
Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva
Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma
Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma
Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma
Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma
शरणागतदीनाथ परित्राणपरायणे सर्वसात्ति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते
शरणागतदीनाथ परित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्याति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते
श्रीमादा श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूता देवकार्यसमुद्यता
श्रीमाता श्रीमहारानी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूता देवकार्यसमुद्यता
अमृतेश्वरि नमोस्तुते
अमृतेश्वरि नमोस्तुते
अम्ब अमृतेश्वरि नमोस्तुते
अमृतेश्वरि नमोस्तुते
करुणा सिन्धु भैरवी अमृतानन्दमयि देवी
सिन्धु भैरवी अमृतानन्दमयि
करुणा सिंधु भैरवे मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी
विघ्ननायक सिद्धिविनायक मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी
हे गणनायक सिद्धिविनायक मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी
विघ्ननायक सिद्धिविनायक मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरद विनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरदविनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरद विनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरदविनायक नमो नमः
हे गिरिजात्मज बुद्धिप्रदायक विघ्नेश्वर जय संकटनाशक
गिरिजात्मज बुद्धिप्रदायक विघ्नेश्वर जय संकटनाशक
सुख करता तू दुख हरता तू
सुख करता तू दुख हरता तू
विश्व विनायक नमो नमः
सुख करता तू दुख हरता तू विश्व विनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरद विनायक नमो नमः ओंकारेश्वर जय विश्वेश्वर लंबोदर तू सर्वेश्वर सन्मधिदायक नमो नमः। गणाधीश तू वरद विनायक नमो नमः। गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक नमो नमः। गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक नमो नमः। गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक नमो नमः। हे महागणपति पाप विनाशक गणेश्वर जय विघ्न विनाशक। हे महागणपति पाप विनाशक गणेश्वर जय विघ्न विनाशक। मायूरेश्वर तू परमेश्वर तू अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक 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 नमो नमः। 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 वरद विनायक नमो नमः।
Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Vihari
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 Jai Gopi Janavallabha
Jai Gopi Janavallabha
Jai Gopi Janavallabha
Jai Gopi Janavallabha
Jai Krishna Murari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Krishna Murari
Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Vihari
Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Vihari
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Krishna Murari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. अमृत कले आनंद कले अविकल जीवित दानर दे
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 हेमलते सुरलोकनु दे निखिल मनोरथ 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 दानर दे
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
सामनुते संगीतरते वेद पुराण पयोधिसुदे
सामनुते संगीतरते वेद पुराण पयोधिसुदे
शोक हरे कलिपावहरे नारद पूजित पादयुते
शोक हरे
कलिपावहरे सुख
नारद पूजित पादयुते
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
श्रीललिते गिरिराजसुते श्रुति मन्त्रविहारिणि मञ्जुपदे
श्रीललिते गिरिराजसुते श्रुतिमन्त्रविहारिणि मञ्जुपदे
शिवरमणि शुभ भावयुदे श्रीनाथ सहोदरि हैमवती
शिवरमणि शुभभावयुते श्रीनाथ सहोदरि हैमवती
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्बे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
प्रेममयी प्रणदाभयदे करुणामृतवर्षिणि गुहजननी
प्रेममयी प्रणदाभयदे करुणामृतवर्षिणि गृहजननी
जय जननी जननी जगदां जननी जय काली कपालिनी मंत्रमयी
जय जननी जगदां जननी जय काली कपालिनी मंत्रमयी
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं काली
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अम्मे शरणं देवी शरणं जय जय काली कपालिनी शरणं
अमृतानंदमयी निखिलामय हर जननी वंदे अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी प्रेम सागर वशी माता अमृतानंदमयी प्रेम भक्ति संदायिनी माता समदमदायिनी मनलयकारिणी अमृतानंदमयी सदगम अमृति वसदा देवी अमृतानंदमयी माता पतितोद्धार निरंतर हृदये अमृतानंदमयी परमहंस पद निलये देवी अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी हे जननी जनि मरण निवारिणी अमृतानंदमयी हे सृजन परिपालिनी दयदा अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी सुरजन पूजित जय जगदम्बा अमृतानंदमयी सहज समाधिषु धन्ये देवी अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी ओम जय जय जगज्जननी वंदे अमृतानंदमयी मंगलहारिणी माधव भवानी अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी जय बोलो सद्गुरु माता अमृतानंदमयी देवी की अमृतेश्वरी मंगलम प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे मंगलम भुवनेश्वरी मंगलम सुकृतिनाम एकाश्रये मंगलम अमृतेश्वरी मंगलम प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे मंगलम भुवनेश्वरी मंगलम सुकृतिनाम एकाश्रये
हृदयेश्वरी मङ्गलं हृदिलसत्तेजोमयी मङ्गलं मृदुभाषिणी मङ्गलं विजयदा प्रेमामृते मङ्गलं विजयदा प्रेमामृते मङ्गलं विजयदा प्रेमामृते मङ्गलम्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।